If you update the X5 to the latest firmware inside the mobile app, you'll find that some brand new features have been added that make this camera even more powerful than before. But what are they? And are they any good? In this video, I'll walk you through exactly what's new with the X5 and show you some brand new accessories that have just been released for it. If you haven't picked up an X5 yet and plan to, feel free to follow my link below, which will score you some free accessories to go with the camera. And a big thanks goes out to Insta360 for sponsoring this video. However, as always, all opinions within the video are 100% my own. Once you've installed the firmware and turned the camera on, you'll now notice that when you cycle through the different modes, you'll now find an option called Instaframe 2.0. And you guessed it, this is a new and improved version of Instaframe, which is Insta360's mode for people who don't want to do any reframing later, where you essentially choose the viewpoint then and there while you're filming, and the shot will then be saved as that fixed viewpoint with no editing needed. First update here is that they have increased the shooting resolution from what was formerly just 1080p. Well, now you can shoot up to 4K 30. You've now also got an option to record a 360 video backup that you can still edit with if you don't want to lock in the Instaframe framing. However, doing this also limits the resolution back to 1080p, hence I wouldn't recommend it. Now, in this new Instaframe interface, you'll find a few new options. Firstly, on the left-hand side, you'll find two different types of camera movement. The first one is a 360 spin, which is exactly what it looks like. The viewpoint just spins around on the horizontal axis. Then there is barrel roll, and that, you guessed it, does a barrel roll. Now, by tapping this icon here, you'll open up the virtual gimbal menu. And here is where we can manually control the camera's viewpoint while we're filming. So if I press record and I decided that I wanted to reframe around live while I'm filming, I can do that here with the virtual joystick. And this also means that you don't need any kind of selfie stick or mount. You can literally just hold the camera and navigate around your shot like this using your thumb. Probably not the best idea though, because as soon as you pan even slightly towards yourself, your thumb is going to show up very prominently in shot. Finally, down the bottom right, if you tap this icon here, you'll find three different framing modes that behave slightly differently. The first one is pitch lock, where the priority is to keep the horizon level at all costs. The second one is follow, which will aim to keep you in the center of frame no matter how you move the camera. And the third one is bit of a weird one, FPV, which tries its best to simulate an FPV drone. I don't know why you'd want a shot like this, but it's there. Of all three, I'd recommend the first two. So pitch lock is going to be the better choice for scenes where you're focusing just on scenery or your point of view as opposed to pointing back at you. And then follow is going to be the best option for any shots where you want to capture yourself. Again, this is a great way of taking advantage of the 360 video medium without having to go through the process of reframing, which can sometimes be time consuming. If you ever want to reset any of your movements, just tap reset here on the screen. And this brings me to the first new accessory for the X5, and that is the Freeframe selfie stick, which acts kind of like a gimbal. It can extend out this far, and it's also got buttons on it and a dial, a little joystick, so you can replicate these exact movements that I just showed you, but you can also keep the camera at a distance while you do it. So if you did want to reframe live while you're shooting, this accessory will help you do that. It's still brand new though, and I'm not even sure if it's available in the Insta360 store yet. If it is, I'll link it below. But my experiences with it so far have been decent. It still seems like it might be a little bit buggy, but no doubt those things will be fixed by the time it's fully released. Whether this is a necessary accessory though, I don't know. I'm sure some people would have a use for it, but personally, I don't. The next accessory I bet you didn't see coming is this photography grip, which turns the X5 kind of like into a DSLR style camera, which seems a bit weird since the focus of this camera is not photography, especially flat photography in one direction only, since the image quality is kind of average. However, I will say that there's something really cool about this grip. It just feels really good to touch, and when going out shooting with it, it actually made me consider my shots a lot more. And I kind of got that sense of nostalgia of when I first picked up a camera and fell in love with photography. And while the image quality is not going to be any better than your phone, this is definitely a fun accessory to have. It's even got a little red button here, so it really does feel like you're using a DSLR camera. Now, when you're using the photography grip, you may want to take advantage of a new addition here in the single lens photo menu. And that is, well, there's a couple of them. The first one is that you can now shoot in 2.35 to 1 aspect ratio for a widescreen look if you really want it. They've also added the option to add stylish borders, which add these frames around the shot, kind of making them look like a Polaroid. Also, from this single lens photo screen, if you swipe across to the right, here under picture profiles, you'll also find a whole bunch of new profiles that give your shots a highly stylized look. So if you like the look of any of these filters, then feel free to use them. The next new accessory they've released is the 2-in-1 selfie stick and throwpod. And if you're familiar with my channel, you'll know that I hate the original throwpod with a passion. So this new and improved throwpod, coming in at a much smaller size and lower weight, is very much welcomed. The original throwpod feels more like a bludgeoning stick that serves very little purpose, but this new one is light and small enough to actually be portable. It's still got this silly mechanism on the bottom where you drop it on the ground and it's supposed to extend the legs. However, I wasn't able to consistently get this to work, nor do I think it's a good idea to drop your camera from any height. Still though, with this incarnation of the throwpod, I actually feel like I would use it more, especially for behind the scenes style shots where I need to set up a tripod quickly to film what I'm doing, and I don't want it to be super heavy or complicated. I just need it to assemble in a couple of seconds so I can attach my camera and press record. Well, this one actually does the job pretty well, and it also comes with a little remote control here. So if you did want to use it as a standard selfie stick, which you absolutely can do, you've now got that wireless control function, and it's $34.99 USD. I think this is actually worth buying, believe it or not. In fact, I'll be going to Europe over the Christmas holidays, and I actually plan on bringing it with me. The final new accessory is the electric suction cup mount. So for those of you who like to shoot from a car, you're probably familiar with the existing mounting options, many of which rely on suction cups. However, suction cups can absolutely still come loose in bad wind, and that's going to be a risk to your camera. Whereas with this one, where the electric part comes in, is that the mount will electronically suction itself to your car until it is super tight. And then as you're filming, the mount will constantly monitor for the level of pressure. And if it detects it becoming loose at all, it will then re-suction, even while you're driving. So if you shoot a lot of content from your car, this really is an accessory worth buying. By the way, all shots from this video were graded using my brand new advanced Insta360 cinematic LUT pack, which are color presets that can be applied in one single click within the free version of DaVinci Resolve, as well as Premiere Pro and Final Cut Pro. The pack contains 20 different color grading presets that I tailored to 20 of the most common situations you'll find yourself in, and will instantly transform your shots from dull to cinematic, as well as helping fix bad exposure on shots that are either too bright or too dark. Just follow the link below to pick up your copy. And now that you've updated the X5 with this brand new firmware, next you're going to need some creative ideas. In this video here, I share 10 awesome shots that you can get with the X5 that are all super easy to achieve.